Hi, this is Stacey Pingree, founder of Radiant Financial Group and the Legacy Wealth Podcast. Here is a place where we love to listen to stories of legacy wealth builders. I think that one of the greatest joys I have in this business is meeting so many incredible agents and clients and just people, friends, they become friends, that have done amazing things. And today we have the pleasure of meeting with Courtney Strzelczyk. Strzelczyk. I knew I was going to mess it up. You'll see why I messed it up once you see her name posted later. But she has really just come like a shot out of the dark in the real estate industry, real estate market as an agent. Has an awesome story. I think it's very inspiring. But I'm not gonna spoil it. I want you to kind of tell the story of coming, your previous occupation and into this. But I will say, we met 2 years ago.
Yes.
On your, at Slevin Team's training. We did like a training for actually prospecting.
Yes.
Which is funny.
Exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
And you said that basically because you met with us, it was the reason for all your success. I'm just kidding.
Pretty much. I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
I got to attribute some to Jen too. But
that was a total joke.
You got the wheels going though.
Yeah, no. But you've since been working with Jennifer Lamp at Radiant Financial, so not even directly with me. And
she's awesome. I will throw that out.
She's amazing. She's there's probably not a better loan technician in the business as far as knowing how to structure a deal and how to put it together. Jen, big shout out to her because she is incredible. But I would love to hear your story. So if you can just start there, I think I think it's inspiring. So let's start there.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So it's been an interesting road for sure. It's kind of crazy I am where I am right now because I will tell you 2.5 years ago, I was really, really struggling with my job. So my background, actually, I worked in healthcare. I was an occupational therapist. I worked actually in neural rehab. So I was working with a lot of people that just had like a major stroke or a brain injury, some spinal cord injuries too. Honestly, I got burnt out really quick. It was really tough work, and it wasn't even like it was long hours or anything. It was really just a lot of compassion fatigue. And I loved working with people, and I think that's the reason why I was kind of like encouraged to go into healthcare, but it really just wasn't for me. And I was really, really struggling with it because I worked hard to kind of move up, and I got certifications. I became pretty specialized, but I realized my pay was kind of staying flat.
Yeah.
And so my husband was actually a physical therapist too, and through grad school, we both accumulated. I hate saying it.
No.
over or it's almost $250,000 of student loans between us.
I want to put this in right here in this spot because it's important. We have so many clients right now that are going through this or in it or already have spent the dollars just like you have, and it's done. What's done is done, right? But you've been able to make and now even after the sort of pause on student loan collection, it's back on. This is a timely. We're in May of 2025 for reference on the podcast, but we just this week actually, or next week, they'll just be collecting again, coming back to start collecting again. So anybody who's been on a hiatus of their student loans is going to see those again, and it's not small debt.
No, it's tough. It's a huge chunk of money. And, that was the hard part is, we thought we were doing the right thing by going and getting our, my husband got his doctorate. I got my grad degree or my master's degree. And we thought we were doing the smart thing. Job security. Everyone's like, oh, you'll always have a job wherever you go. Doesn't matter where the economy is. And that is true. But, the pay is not great. And there's no way to move up. And I felt like, once I started in work was getting these certifications and my pay wasn't going up, I kind of lost the motivation. I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
And I just felt so emotionally fatigued. That was really, really hard. And I was just like, what are we going to do? Like, I can't do this until I'm 60 and then slowly start chipping away at these student loans. So we really started looking at our finances very differently. We actually started doing travel therapy because we found that there was a lot of ways that we could use the stipends they give us to basically put that money towards our student loans and make more money. And then that's when we found out, I read some blog of a physical therapist who was doing travel therapy, and he introduced me to the FIRE community, which is financial independence, retire early. And then that started like spinning the wheels. Okay, like let's really try to invest as much money as we can. It was mostly at that time like retirement accounts. We were maxing out our 401ks, HSA, those sort of accounts.
Because you have the opportunity as a W-2 employee. That's what
Exactly.
that's what you're going to throw things
Exactly.
into.
So that's what we were doing. And then we were trying to live very frugally. And we did. We were kind of like dirt bags for a little bit.
I love it on your, we will know, we were going to talk about it more than once, but Courtney in Phoenix is your Instagram handle.
Yes.
And you're, it's so much fun. I mean, I'm like real maxing, as my kids say. I'm on your whole page, but you have such great, anyway, we're going to get to that, but please, continue. Because that's great. You definitely, you get into, go ahead.
Yeah. So for sure. Yeah. So this fire community, we started looking at it, and it was kind of funny because we were like cutting our like Netflix subscriptions and everything. Gosh. And then we were like looking at our retirement accounts, and we're like, it's still going to take us forever to get these to a point where we can in fact retire early and pay off our student loans. We were kind of just like, we felt like we were spinning our wheels a little bit. And that's when I found some people that were investing in real estate. And at the time, Burr was the strategy that everyone was using. And then I ran into like bigger pockets, of course, and like became obsessed with that. Like that was my new hobby. I can be an obsessive person when I find something new. I'm like, that's all I do for
you latched on and you're not letting
exactly,
go.
Exactly. So I really started just like diving into that. And then my husband and I, we stopped doing travel therapy. It was actually COVID happened, and we got permanent jobs again. And that just, again, already struggling with burnout. And that was like, pushed me over the edge. I was just like, just not feeling myself. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not happy with my job. I'm just trying to get through the days. Like, I'm not enjoying this. And, so we actually bought a house. So we lived in it. We were going to do like a house hack and then turn it into a long-term rental. And I had a really, really like crappy day at work. And I came home and my husband was just like, what are you doing? Like, go get your real estate license. Yeah. And I like was like, well, that's what people do when they hit rock bottom. He's like, I think you hit rock bottom. So I'm like,
I love that you just said that. I love that you just said that. When everything is the worst it can be, go get your real estate license. I love it.
And I did. I signed up that night. It was like some online course. I had a promo for it.
It's a 2-week deal,
Yeah, exactly. And
helping people make the biggest decision of their life in 2 weeks after taking.
I know. That's like, you don't learn anything at school. It's really like on the ground work and finding the right mentors. But
100%.
Yeah. So, but I realized I was like, okay, if I'm going to be a real estate agent, like, I need to give it 100%. And I could see this was at the time this year, it was 23. So, or no, excuse me, it was the very end of 22. So I already saw the writing on the wall. I knew where interest rates were going. Yeah. We could see the market came to a halt. And I was like, okay, there's going to be lower transaction volume out there. I need to work, 10 times harder than any other agent if I'm going to like make it through. And I had that mentality, and that mentality saved me because I worked my butt off.
Yeah, you were grinding. Yeah. And that's actually funny because that was the exact same time when we were talking about, we met, all we were doing was going around telling people like, do not forget to prospect. This is a prospector's game. Like all these phone calls that have been coming in from 20 and 21 where your phone's ringing 150 times a day, if you've been in the business like we had, that was over.
Yeah, it was quiet.
It was very quiet. So it was a change. Yeah, you probably got in one of the most difficult, challenging markets these last couple of years for sure.
But that was the biggest blessing though. Yeah. Because I think if I got licensed like 2 years earlier and I just had leads rolling in, I wouldn't have learned the importance of like time blocking for prospecting and really like hustling and really realizing that lead generation is the business. Like that is, 70% of my day is actually generating leads or maintaining relationships with people more than the actual transaction work. So
100%. I want to go back into this fire because you're on this topic right now about the kind of grind and like just working through that, like how much work. Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more that if you were able to thrive, not just stay alive, but thrive through this last 2 years, you're doing something really right? Mm-hmm. You're doing the right things. People are referring other friends to you. I mean, it's working. So, this fire concept though it's like the sacrifice, right? Like you're making this huge sacrifice for today. And you and I've talked about this, and for those that don't know, the fire method, as you mentioned, is basically this really, really strict spending, right?
Exactly.
What did you say you were eating? Like
it's a ramen noodle diet, basically.
Yeah. Which
peanut butter and jelly.
With the cost of everything and health and wellness being at top of everyone's mind too. Yes. It's like that's probably it's a tough It's a tough
Yeah.
thing. But I think there's some kind of happy middle, or, middle of the road there where you're like, we've talked about that a lot, where it's got, you've got to sacrifice something when you're really trying to build, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was maybe what a great step into like the real estate side of it. You're like, okay, well, we already know how to live lean. Now we're just gonna, and if I can just create income now, what was your first priority? Was your first priority to get the debt paid off? Like kind of walk me through what's happened since you really started kicking up a lot of
Yeah. So at the
income.
time we were looking at it. So the one good thing about our student loans is the interest rates are pretty low.
Yeah.
So at the time we were like, okay, if we put it into like S&P 500 or these index funds, we're going to have a higher return. So we were, I was like on a 10-year plan for student loans, which probably, technically it's probably not the best way to go about it, but I did what I did. And then we were trying to max out any our 401k, IRA, and then HSA. And then after that, any funds went to like student loans after that. But as far as like the living frugally, I'm pretty sure it was Alex Hormozy that was talking about this, but he was saying like people focus so much about saving money instead of making money. And I heard that, and I think the FIRE community provided a lot of good guidance initially or motivation to invest and really try to make your money work for itself. But the frugal living, I think we were caught up. We put so much energy in that. And I wish like when I first started off, I put more energy in like, how can we actually make more money?
Yeah.
And that was like a big turning point when I got into real estate, where I was like, oh, like if I, you eat what you kill, and if I put more money in this, then I can still have Netflix and go out to eat and, and enjoy the process. Because it was like, it's almost like you hear these people that are on these really, really strict diets, and then they like cave and and then they're binge eating or something. And then I could see like, that's not what happened with us with FIRE, but I could see that happening to people because it's such a restrictive lifestyle. So
you don't know what the tomorrow's going to bring, right? You were in the healthcare sector. Things happen to people who have accidents and illness and whatever. So it's like now you got to have some joy. You got to make room for the joy in there too, and not be completely restrictive. Yeah.
And the funny thing is too, like with the FIRE community, it's all about like retiring and having freedom of time. But then I realized like once I got outside of healthcare and got into real estate, I enjoy working. I actually have no intention of retiring. I want to build wealth, but I don't need to like, what am I going to do if I'm retired? I'm going to be bored.
This is a constant thing with my husband and I. We always talk like, you say we could stop working today, but like, why? Why do we do that? It's because we enjoy it. We love it. So I love that what you just said, because I think the concept, there's I did a class, investors mastermind this week, and it was on the concept of like just a mindset shift. That's all we talked about. And the first whole session of this 6-week thing that we're doing, and it's what's intense about the mindset shift is like you just said, it's Alex Hormozy. It's saving is like everyone, oh, you should save, you should save, you should save. We instead of saving or putting it into these even like a 401k or something that just had really low, that we couldn't control, markets, we would just buy another house. We would take our extra money or any money, and we would buy another asset. And that asset, even if it wasn't cash flowing or it was an income producing asset. So we were designing it, and there was a discussion yesterday about passive income, and it's like, I don't know why they call it passive, because it does take work and sacrifice. It should be called like inertia income,
Oh, I like that. Actually.
I think we're gonna start
a new thing.
That. Yeah,
trademark it.
But to me, that's really great. And you really said you saw that in the real estate side of things, and so now it's like, now pour money into that, pour money into real estate so that it can become a cash flow asset, that just kicks off money to you. And plus, there's a million tax benefits, and you're gonna have appreciation. There's so many great, leverage is a really wonderful thing when it's worked right. So, okay, so so then what happened?
Oh yeah, so after I got my real estate license, is that where I left off? Yeah. So so when I got my license, I was like, okay, what's my game plan for prospecting? Yeah. And I heard about, the two ones everyone introduced, they're like, you can cold call or you can door knock. So I was like, the idea of calling someone just petrified me. I was like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. And then someone told me, they're like, well, you're a really expressive person. Like, I think you would do well with people in person. You should door knock. So I decided I was going to door knock. That was terrible. Yeah. I stuck with it. I did it like every day for, I think it was 4 months, but it was like brutal because people are like yelling you through, ring doorbell, or I've had, a couple doors slammed in your face. And I decided to do it in our neighborhood because I was going to try to like farm the neighborhood eventually. And I just felt like so terrible, like bugging our neighbors or not being, on
It's just
get that feedback from your neighbor.
awkward.
Yeah, it's just weird. It was just weird. And I so before, just to keep myself motivated, before I would start door knocking every day, I would sit in my car and I would give myself like this little like prep talk and videotape myself. Just to be like, you could do this. And it's so cheesy now that I say that out loud, but
mindset's important. I mean, how do you feel about mindset now? I mean, right?
And these videos were cheesy, but I had like an aha moment. I was like, oh, I'm like making these videos. I don't mind being on camera. Like maybe I could use Instagram to get leads. And I was the most like, I don't want to say I was anti-social media, but I was just not on social media at all. And
so funny.
Yeah. It is kind of ironic now.
Because you're just like such a natural. Oh my
now
gosh.
I'm on it all the time.
Yeah.
But so that's when I decided like, okay, if I'm, again, going to do this, I got to buckle down and really be serious about it. So that's when I started making reels. And that quickly turned into, well, not quickly, took a little time.
Yeah.
Planted the seed and had to wait for it to grow, but it ended up being an incredible lead source and just an incredible way to build community too in my area.
It feels like it. You're the one thing that I think, I want to ask your opinion of why you think it works so well. But my opinion is that I do feel like you're localized. I do feel like you are my neighbor, my nosy neighbor, right? You are my neighbor.
Good.
And I feel like it's if I have any questions about the areas you're talking about, I'm going to call you, I mean, and you've created that, right? So, but yeah, what do you think's been the success of it? I mean, you get majority of all your leads from that. Okay.
Most of them. Yeah. A lot of it is just trying, like whenever I'm on camera, I try to think of like who I'm talking to, and it's usually a specific person, like maybe it's a specific friend or a past client, because that makes my mannerisms and just the way I talk sound more like me. Yeah. And I found that to be like super, super helpful in just building rapport on the platform. And I was super unmanicured. Like if you look at any of my reels, I mean, it's not a production. Like it's me holding my phone like this and trying to be really casual. The biggest thing though, to actually convert leads and get good leads on Instagram is remembering that it's a social platform. Yeah. And I see so many agents that have come to me and they're like, hey, I'm posting every day. I'm doing the right things, but I can't get anyone to like, I'm not getting DMs. I'm not getting anything. And then I look, they're posting and ghosting. Yeah. And, a lot of it is, are you engaging with other accounts in your community? Like I follow a lot of I'm a big foodie, so I follow a lot of food accounts and I'm engaging with those people. I'm responding back to comments, and stories are a huge thing because often people feel more comfortable approaching you and commenting on your story. I always DM back. And has been how it's just that casual conversation. And then it eventually leads to people saying, by the way, I know someone looking for a home, or I have a question about listing my home. And it's, it's just that social part. And it doesn't take that much work. Yeah. People think it does, but you spend 15 minutes a day. I mean, we're already on Instagram enough.
Well, I was going to say, and you're out in the community too. So that is making you an expert, because I watch I can see the footage that you pick up. I mean, you're showing pictures of the airport. You're showing, you know what I mean? It's like you've got all kinds of video clips of really what's going on, the restaurants that you highlight and talk about and promote. And I mean, it's just genius. It's great.
Thank you.
But it does feel like socially. But you're approachable. You're real, like you said. And I do feel like you're talking to me, which is a big part of it. I think you said you connect. And that's it works. So
and it makes it fun. Like if you enjoy the process, there's some days for sure I'm like, okay, I gotta post. I gotta figure this out. I gotta plan content. But for the most part, it really is fun. And I think that's a key to most things in life. If you don't enjoy the process, you're never gonna get to the goal.
Yeah, agree with that 100%. How much have you? How much have you learned in real estate in the last 2 years? I mean, you're not. I don't want to make this sound like like you're this, because obviously you're a pretty face, but you do have a great presence and all that, but you are really knowledgeable. I mean, you know a lot about the communities, you know a lot about the homes. I mean, what's that been like, that journey of learning real estate? Because you really didn't have so many people come on, they're like, oh, my mom was an agent for, I'm born and bred out of this industry or whatever, but you didn't have any of this.
Well, I do think, yes, because like when I was talking about being really nerdy about like investing, I definitely learned a lot about, the escrow process, and then really market analytics. And that's something I really, really love. I'm a nerd
Okay.
with
So
that stuff.
that's why you and Jen connect. She's also like engineer brain.
Which is, I don't know, it seems unlikely for my personality because I tend to be like more of a type B person, but I don't know, I just love market analytics. So that helped a lot. And then actually something that helped me learn a lot about the geographical area and neighborhoods is I actually started a YouTube channel as well. And I really focused on like doing like these reports like once a week, and I would go do research for a couple hours, and then I would drive around these neighborhoods. I was going to open houses and everything, and was learning about the construction. So that helped me. It was more of like a systematic way of learning, and I was putting out a video a week. And then so by the time I had clients, I had a lot to share.
Yeah,
So,
you knew what was going on. And
yeah.
I love that too when somebody focuses in on a community, or because it just really like, might seem like, but you're constantly, that's just niching, just creating these little tiny niche moments, and someone searching for just that community. There's one that's like, there's 2 houses available in here now. That's it. So it's, I mean, it does, it's staying consistent, right? Like you've been very consistent.
Absolutely.
You're knowledgeable about it. Yeah. And then you keep it fun. Like you said, keep it fun.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What do you see happening here in the next, what are your next goals?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things, my husband actually just got his license. So we're slowly trying to build a team a little bit.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of it is just trying to automate the business, of course, build our real estate as agent business. And then, I mean, we're definitely looking to do our next house hack.
Yep.
So and we're pretty close to paying off our student loans. So that's, for this year, that's our big goal. And then, I mean, really, it's just trying to build our real estate portfolio.
Yeah.
I really see being an agent as a tool to becoming more of a full-time investor. I mean, that's the end goal, is to...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, we could just end right here because that's what I love. That's what I'm passionate about too. No, I think you have the love for helping people, and I think you're probably still gonna, you'll still have some role in real estate for sure. And plus, you're gonna have referrals and all that. But for us, I know it was about, I'm big on talking about legacy, obviously, name of the podcast, not very original, right? But still it's, I feel for me, legacy is always, it's about what I'm doing right now, not so much when I'm already gone, and, so for you, I mean, what are your goals? What do you see there as a legacy? And
yeah,
for
absolutely.
Your family?
So, I think part of my heart is still in healthcare and helping people. So my husband and I have talked about a lot of that. One of our biggest frustrations with healthcare was dealing with a lot of hospital administration and insurance, right? We were very limited into how we could really treat clients. And we talked about long-term, we would like to have some sort of like outpatient, maybe sliding scale or pro bono clinic. Wow. I don't know if I want to be a therapist. I would like to be more on the managerial side, but that's something as far as just our legacy giving, because there's so many people that sure they're insured, but they still don't have access to the therapy that they really need. Not just with neuro or people impacted by neurological conditions, but even just my husband's in workman's comp, and there's a lot of issues with that, just getting the appropriate care. So even if we could do, help our immediate local community in some regard, I mean, that's the end goal. So
that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, you see so many of this pop up. I mean, the insurance obviously is a place where people don't have a lot of trust and faith right now. It's like right underneath government, and then like insurance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
There's a lot of insecure, just unknowns, and it's a hard industry right now. So for sure, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. We love to give back. One of our big charities that we work with is Mariah's Miracle, and that's essentially they are AZ OPT, which is a occupational therapy facility that then we just love the organization. We love the people, Terry and Ryan Roberts, who run that company. But they pour into for children. They're Mariah's Miracles. For children.
I'm not familiar. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to connect you with that. But So, I mean, yeah, so you don't really believe in that. So now you're going to start investing in real estate. You'll be able to, do you see yourself doing more on the fix and flip side, or do you see the buy and holds as a critical piece of the puzzle, or both?
I mean, if the opportunity arises for fix and flip, which being a real estate agent, you do come across properties, that would definitely be something we're going to do. But as far as long-term hold is the goal. Of course, just trying to level up our doors and, get bigger units down the road. And so that's the whole hope.
How long till your husband is like in the full-time game?
As an agent?
Might be a while.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think it's going to be another year and a half before. Yeah. So he's hustling now. So
that's exciting. That's really exciting. Anything? So I want to hear it back. We were talking about your story in the very beginning here, but I think, knowing that you've lived in a bunch of different cities, I mean, what appeals to you about our market here?
First off, I'm really outdoorsy, so I felt the desert just stole my heart. And at first, so I came from Colorado, and I was like, oh, there's no place more beautiful than Colorado. And I was not really happy about moving down here. And then we went out camping, and there's something about the desert at sunset. So that's what stole my heart initially about the state of Arizona. And honestly, it was the people in the community and the friends that we made that stole my heart. And I had moved so much throughout my life, and it was the first time I felt like, oh, these are lifelong friends that I'm meeting. And I just felt this comfort of home. And, once I felt that comfort from people, I really started to peel back the layers of Phoenix, because I will say and when I say Phoenix, I mean Phoenix Metro as a whole, but it's not, sometimes it's hard to find the good stuff in Phoenix. Other cities, you can find these great restaurants right away, things to do. In Phoenix, there's some layers you got to pull back. And I almost found that almost I don't know, more enticing, because and the longer I lived here, the more amazing restaurants and sub communities you find.
I agree with that.
In the area. And I guess maybe, I don't know, I feel it's a romantic place to live, if you will. And
and it's very suburban, right? It's
it's convenient.
It's just got, we don't have that mecca of a downtown with different districts in the downtown. I mean, we do have that, but it's people that live out in the suburbs of the West or the East Valley, they stay out there. So there's pockets and great little spots.
There are really great spots. And I found too, there's so many people that have relocated here. So they're looking for friends as well. And that was the reason why it was easy to build a community, because there was a lot of people that had moved from other states as well. And so that's something as far as, getting clients from Instagram, just sharing my story. And then people finding me that were relocating down here, they're like, oh, you know how it is. You know how it's a little bit scary to move to a different area and buy a home in a market you aren't familiar with. So creating comfort for those people has helped a lot too.
And that has proved to be, knowing what I know about affordability and all probably the biggest, I mean, will you tell me what's the biggest, objection or what's holding people back right now is, I mean, my vision it's been affordability. What about you? What are you seeing out there?
So for relocation buyers, I find the biggest thing is actually they feel overwhelmed of where to move to. Because they're we have a lot more remote workers, so they aren't tied to a certain location. And they're like, do I live in Surprise or Santan or Chandler? And it's really kind of providing clarity on what's important for their quality of life. And then kind of fine tuning that location.
Well, that's I mean, I think relocation is a totally unique. That was a great area for you to focus for sure.
Yes,
it's gonna be less dependent on the affordability. It's more about lifestyle.
And absolutely, a lot of the people too, I find they're second time home buyers, so it's not as challenging. I would say as far as we do hear affordability for people that are already living here, it's first time home buyers is really difficult. But there's usually this come to earth moment. People want to live in Scottsdale and they want to buy a single level home with a pool, and just trying to educate people okay, that's maybe your second house. We can get there. But for the first house, let's go look at these other areas. And right now, a lot of those first time home buyers, we're finding great deals with new builds because they can do the rate buy down and then their monthly payments, feasible. It's a great way to get their foot in the door.
We've said it's an option for people that are really have had affordability issues to look at. All the track for new builders. No, and I think if you were going to give advice, I mean, I always say, the best time to buy real estate was always 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It just is.
I'm feeling that.
but I had in this same mastermind we were talking the other day, I had somebody say, but if you don't do it today, in 5 years, you're going to say the same thing, right? So
Exactly.
it's just people are like, oh, I can't believe I'd be saying that. In Phoenix market, things would be, 2,000 square foot house would be going for 700,000. I'm like, yeah, it's already happening, So, again, I tell people just start working with somebody who can really carve out their needs and think long term. Like you don't have to buy your dream house out of the chute. Let's build wealth. Let's put a platform together and a strategy. And how much of that do you feel like, what would your advice be to somebody that is renting right now? Rents, by the way, are not cheap.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've got a lot of renters that are anywhere between $2,500 and $3,500 a month right now. We can get you into a house, and now it may not be the dream house, but what if we build a plan? What if we lay out the, property one, and then we, 5 years down the road, we've got appreciation and amortization and all the things that have kicked in. And now we've got, money to move forward. And what's your advice on that?
Yeah. Usually the biggest thing, it's first getting clarity on what the reservation is.
Yeah.
It's usually money. They're worried about it. And they also think that it's going to be cheaper down the road. And, something when that comes up, stories are always the best way to educate, right? Yep. And I share my story of the last house we bought. It was 22. It was August. And it was at the peak of the market. Houses were at the highest, but we saw interest rates going up. So we bought a house. We did a rate buy down. And our home value dropped considerably in the first 6 months of home ownership, considerably. If we waited another 6 months, our purchase price would have been a lot lower. But our monthly payment was $2,300. And if we waited until later, it would have been much higher. Now it would be close to $3,500.
Yeah.
And so we bought then. And that monthly rate is always going to go up. Even if the purchase, there's always this reciprocal effect, right? Between purchase rates. Price and rates and everything. Yep. And, it's a patient game, but rents are just going to go up too. And usually, that helps. And often I find that there's a lot of people that have a lot of noise. They have family members telling them these things. So it's kind of okay, what's really important to you? And what's that noise we can maybe block out for a little bit so you can figure out what's most important to you.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't know your exact age, but I'm going to guess you're in the millennials. Are you in the millennials?
I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because I feel
for
like
sure.
there's a healthy level of hesitation and just caution in that. I don't feel that's what they write about, right? That's what everybody writes about, and I think it's definitely there was a reason for it. Maybe parents that went through that 08, 09, crash, they watched that. There's a little bit of hesitancy, PTSD, hesitancy in some things. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Lay the numbers out for them and say, okay, here's what it looks like if you don't buy today. Here's what 10 years down the road looks like, right? We like to build an appreciation calculator, use the tools we have and show them what that looks like, because you're going to be paying somebody's mortgage off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's either yours or a landlord. So, I think it just, like you said, getting with them on the data and understanding the real concern or fear. Yeah. And helping, because data can uncover a lot of that too.
Absolutely.
Actually, you said you love that.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And it's funny too, because when you hear people say they'll share a story about their parent or something. Yeah. And then it's always about, okay, their parent lost money when they sold the house, not when they bought the house. And just highlighting that to them as well. If you hold on to a property long term and you can afford to hold on to it, and if you need to weather the storm, you're going to be okay. Real estate always comes out on top.
Yeah, it does. It's so funny. We had properties that we purchased back in 05 and 06 that went through 08. There was two particular that were bought in 07, and I can't even tell you, they were new builds. And we ended up keeping them through the downturn and everything, because it was just, but we paid too much for them. I'm sure they were, everything was so climbing up before it crashed, right? And I think they dropped 150,000, roughly each in value, a lot, almost in half, from what we paid. And
that hurts.
It hurt. But it was one of those times where the rate was decent enough. I go, we can put tenants in that will get us close to, and try to hold on to anything we could. We had a couple short sales, and we had land, all kinds of things that we couldn't hold on to because we couldn't afford to. But on those we did, and now that same $250,000, $70,000 property that we bought is now worth double that. And so, that time it took 15 years or whatever it took.
Yeah.
You know, but
and I'm sure it's cash flowing pretty
but now
now.
cash flows now. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I mean, I always tell people like, just, that is a story. That's a real story. It's true. And, you know, I thought we were at, like we were done. How are we ever going to rebuild? You know, I was actually going to go into healthcare.
Oh, I bet you're glad you missed that one.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that. I was like, I'll go into something that's going to always, you know, be around, because you get same thing. You get like traumatized.
There's job security, right?
Yeah, but I'm glad I didn't.
Me too.
Yeah. So you guys are about to do, you're going to start investing this year, or you're off now and running into buying. Okay, good. Yep. So you'll be able to share that with everybody. Yeah. You're going to share your journey of that on your social media?
Yeah, some of it.
Okay.
Sometimes I have reservations too, because now that I'm saying this out loud, it sounds silly, but I know some people aren't huge fans of investors but that might just be, you know, I don't want to hinder an audience, but at the same time, it's like part of who I am. And I really, really believe in this asset. I really believe in the process of buying a home. So now that I'm saying this out loud, I probably should be talking about it more, because it's being true to myself.
Yes, it is. You want to be in alignment with what you're really trying to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
what I value.
It's going to come out anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to try not to, and it's going to come out. I can already tell. I just, I really commend you. And I didn't get into the specific numbers, but you have really like, you're a top producer. You know, you're a top producer and so you deserve it. I mean, it's like, you know, round of applause, because you not only did you come out in a time which probably has been one of the most challenging markets, you know, are just hard to navigate, but you've done it, and you've done it really well. So I just want to congratulate you.
Well, thank
you.
And
I want to thank you for trusting us, for being a partner.
Absolutely.
How important do you think a lending partner is in this business?
I went through, it was really funny because, you know, of course, Jen was actually some of my first loans she helped me with. And then there was other buyers I had that, of course, chose their own lender. And then I didn't realize how good I had it in the beginning with Jen, because when she calls, she helps negotiate like that. I've been in multiple offer scenarios, and she helped because she was the only lender that reached out or answered her phone on a weekend.
Isn't that crazy?
And that helped us win deals. And that's something I don't think people realize. They just are so worried about like, who's going to give me the lowest rate? And it's like, who's going to help you also negotiate the best deal? Because that might save you more money in that too. But like we're
partners. We're partners, right? I mean, it's like, I try to stress that a lot of times. Somebody's just rate shopping. I'm like, you need a partner with your agent. This is going to be a very involved thing, you know, with lots of moving parts. And so
absolutely.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, she's been a great mentor too. She's been awesome. So
she's incredible.
We're creating a dream team.
Yeah, I know you are, and you're both growing, and you're both. She's building her team too. So I'm excited to see what happens here. You know, honestly,
me too.
You know, it's going to be fun. So I can't thank you enough for being here. I'm so happy to have you be part of this, and
absolutely,
honored to have you on the show with us. So for anybody that wants to reach out to Courtney, she is on Instagram at Courtney in Phoenix. Your YouTube? What is it?
Yes, it's Courtney in Phoenix as well.
Okay, on YouTube, same. But all of these links will be in the show notes below. If you loved the show today, please forward and subscribe and share and do all the things that we'd love for you to do. And we will see you next time here with another amazing guest. But
perfect,
Courtney today.
Thank you.